The Superstar Shakeup has finished, and Raw and SmackDown Live can now commence moving in to their next pay-per-view, Money in the Bank. We're going to talk about all of this shit. Daniel from Pro Wrestling Scorecards is going to call in and have a nice discussion about the future of Pro Wrestling Scorecards. I want to tell you, spoiler alert, there is one. We're going to get into all that and more this week as we...
Are you ready? No! I said, are you ready? Woo! You just made the list! Oh, I knew he was going to do that. I just knew he was going to do that. He don't need Janetti. You don't know what hard times are, Daddy. Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. Just some man with the rock in cooking. Bullet Club for life, good, bad, and good night. They got the answers. I change the questions.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the most inappropriate pro wrestling show in the motherfucking world. You're listening to the BDR Experience, straight from the Vikings of Netherworld. You're listening to Breaking Down the Ring. We are your ring crew.
Nick the Terrible.
Smitty, Ivan, whatever the fuck you want to call me, a Viking name.
And me, your ring crew champion, the one, the only, all Eric one. God damn it, midget stripper. Leave me alone. I'm so sick of you. You just stalk me and you talk shit about me all my life. I wish you loved me. I wish you did.
Never.
So we got a big show to talk about tonight. Don't forget, Money in the Bank is your next WWE pay-per-view. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, we're going to be watching it down there at the Buffalo Wild Wings in downtown Detroit. Not a big event like we did for WrestleMania, not the second floor, just the first floor. But they'll be showing it for all of us, so the ring crew are going to be down there. Some of us maybe for the whole show, some of us for a little bit of the show. We'll be sitting around, walking around, talking to people, so you can come say hi, get all the autographs that you want.
Smitty's going to take his pants off from what I heard.
Again, no cover charge for you to come
we don't
in.
need to get dark in there.
No cover charge for you to come into the Buffalo Wild Wings, ladies and gentlemen. So you can come in, you can watch Money in the Bank for free.
$3.99, my favorite price.
My friends. But I would suggest, look, if you're coming in to watch it for free, get some food. Tip your bartender, tip your server, wherever you're sitting. Make sure you take care of the staff. Because, look, you're coming around to have a whole bunch of fun with some friends. Show some love to the people that are taking care of you the whole time. Daniel from Pro Wrestling Scorecards is going to be calling in Relathon.
So what's up with your whole Adam Sandler thing you got going here?
Dude, I was at work all day, so I have a lot of energy. I'm in a good mood because life is good, you know, just,
It's a new day, it's a new dawn.
And sometimes I just
Yes, it is.
I just want to speak in our tones. Yes, I do. That's some.
Where's my water?
That's pretty good. That's pretty
You
good.
said,
I like it.
I said a PBR and a water.
was no water in the fridge.
You know what, man? I wanted a water. I wanted high quality H2O.
It was not high quality A2O.
You're bad at it. No, you're dusty fucking roads. You're not even the water boy. When you take
Well,
away.
I appreciate it because for this show, I am more appropriate.
You're the least appropriate one on this show.
No, but for once, I am the most appropriate.
As you guys can see, no Z, no Joe. Both of them were called away to really, really experience Vikings. They were really wanting to come
out there
over.
pillaging.
Yeah, it was,
raping women.
Yeah, Ivar is with now is Joe's new name. Zarek is Z's new name.
Zarek.
and Ivar.
Actually, it's Izar and Joe and Eric. I'm sorry, it's Izar. I apologize. Look, man, we got a whole fuck ton to get into. There was a lot of shit that happened in the Superstar shakeup. Not so much bad. Like I will say, that a lot of people shit on Monday Night Raw real quick. They're like, Raw sucks. This is one of the worst episodes of Raw. And then I looked at it and I'm like, Raw doesn't suck. The name The Viking Experience sucks. But that 8-man tag match was a good match.
I thought it was Raw was pretty solid.
Yeah,
It was
wrestling
nothing special.
wrestling wise and everything like that, I thought Raw came off really well. I thought that, Finn Balor and Andrade, it was easily the match of the week.
Absolutely.
It was a phenomenal match to watch.
Him and Ali actually were good too on SmackDown too.
But I'm talking Raw.
Oh, okay.
So Ali and I'm not fuck. You just did it. Andrade and Finn match of the week for any of the shows and match of the week as far as I'm concerned. Then you have the main event that introduced AJ Styles into WWE Raw territory for the first time ever. I'm saying you're right. He back
debuted on
after
Raw.
his last couple years. Yeah, his first little gimmick was on Raw, and then he went and fucking became a huge goddamn star on SmackDown Live in the WWE. And on top of that, so then you also had Lacey Evans came down. She had a match with Natalya. Decent match.
Yeah,
Lacey,
nice to see her in there for once.
Lacey Evans hitting that springboard twisting moonsault. Standing on the
She's not done since the Mae Young Classic.
Right, but she's, obviously they took away the woman's right for her finisher. So she's standing right there, facing the inside of the ring, jumps to the top turnbuckle, twisting so her back is to the ring, and then she moonsaults. The first real
pain almost without the corkscrew.
the first time she really hit it on in front of a major audience.
Yeah.
Obviously you got 15,000 whatever people on Raw. So, and she did really well. I mean, she came down a little bit hard on Natty, but shit, dude, that's the fucking name of the game. Usos showed their face as Monday Night Raw on a tag team. They had a match against Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. Good match.
Good match.
A really good match.
The most solid team in the WWE goes to Raw.
Sami Zayn had the fucking promo of the week for Moment of Bliss. Came out, got that crowd so fucking hot.
They were lit.
And then shit all over him. Great fucking move from Sami Zayn.
But Sammy's been the last 2 weeks. Sammy's been.
I'm not
really
arguing that. I'm saying I'm not talking about. What I'm talking about is a lot of people said Raw sucked, and we're coming out here saying Raw didn't suck. You're just going off your own emotion of holy fuck. The Viking Experience is the worst fucking name I've ever heard. This show sucks. And I mean, even us on the Twitter, there's many times I was just constantly going back to, remember these guys? Sending out a fucking photo of when they were named the War Raiders. Now,
they're still sort of War Raiders on NXT, aren't they?
I wanna get into this a little bit with the naming of it. Nick, when it was first announced with their name, what was your first fucking thought?
I wasn't paying too much attention to what was on screen, so my initial thought in my head was, who the fuck is the Viking Experience? And I had to focus in and really see, oh, that's the War Raiders. What the fuck is happening right now? I was a little bit angry because they could have picked something way better than the Viking Experience.
The Pillage people.
Fucking just their first names for all I fucking care.
Did you just fucking say the Pillage people?
That was a joke. But
It doesn't matter. That was good. That was funny as shit. I want to give you props. I'm not taking anything away from you. The Pillage people is hilarious.
That's better than the Viking Experience. I mean, it felt like there was no thought whatsoever into that fucking name. None. Oh shit, man. We're supposed to change their name. They're about fuck it, Viking Experience. I don't know.
Smitty, when you first heard the name, what did you think?
So I pretty much missed most of the first half of Raw, and I ended up catching up on it via YouTube clips. So when I was spoiled by social media.
Obviously, but I mean, what did you think when you heard it?
When I heard it, I'm like, this, who the fuck? Well, what the fuck? And then I went and looked at it on YouTube, like, holy fuck, this is the quickest they've ever done something shitty to an NXT call up. That was my first thought.
Is that why you were after you watched the match too, or are you just talking about the name?
Let's say once again, I caught up with the first half of Raw via YouTube.
Yeah.
And like, so it wasn't until like when I first saw them like come out and they called them the Viking Experience. Like, this is the quickest Vince has ever done an NXT call up. Then I started matching them. Like, okay, besides the name, I still see the potential. I still think they see potential in those guys.
Yeah.
But it's not. It wouldn't be the first time they took a prominent tag team from the NXT brand and just shit all over it.
Now, I'm going to say giving them the win right off the bat over your tag team champions is not shitting on them. I'm not even positive the name is shitting on them. I'm not saying it's a good name. I am not saying changing their first names for the tag team.
I think you guys missed my point. I said the name was my initial thought was you're shitting on these guys. After the match, I said, okay, possibly you're not doing it. That's my whole point there.
So you just think that they could still possibly shit on War Raiders?
Oh yeah,
Why?
because the track record in general.
Okay, we've had this discussion about the track record of NXT call-ups. One of them's currently the Intercontinental Champion. The other one is now the big dog on fucking SmackDown. Samoa Joe is your United States Champion. Ricochet and Aleister Black, high-profile matches, all over Raw and SmackDown. Had a high-profile match at WrestleMania. Sami Zayn is one also huge. Had a huge moment on Raw. Again,
My thing is like more so the tag teams. Look at the tag teams.
you're talking about Ascension.
No, I'm talking about Ascension, American Alpha, where you push those guys way too far.
Gave
way
them
too
the
quick.
fucking smack. It doesn't matter. You still gave them the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. That's not shitting on them. That's not doing anything bad to them. That's they burnt out and didn't have anything else to go
Like
with.
the Vault Villains.
Vaudeville. We've all agreed that was not a gimmick that was going to get over on the
We
main
know it
roster.
was a gimmick,
Yeah.
but you still could have you could have got that over a little bit more before you killed it.
No, okay. When in the past we all said Vaudevillains is definitely a smaller type. It's not going to play into a large arena or a large area. It's totally great for a small area like NXT where you only have 1,000 people in attendance, you know. But when you go up to 12,000 people and it's more of an intimate type gimmick, it's not going to fly. I agree that as far as I'm concerned, the only thing they really did wrong from NXT call-ups is two things. Ascension. I fully agree that Ascension had a lot more potential than they got. And I think now Sanity.
Oh yeah, that was my next one. Actually.
But it's those. That's it. Everyone else has been featured in
Nikki
some sort of
Cross?
prominent role. She's still coming up. Like you haven't. I can't even say they fucked her. Okay. EC3 is 3. I'm sorry. EC3 right now.
Man, yeah.
But I'm hearing
Heavy Machinery?
But again, dude, they're just now there, and this is in the middle of everything being switched up. I'm not gonna say anyone's got fucked until a year in when I see what they're doing. All right. Because Heavy Machinery is just being announced as finally a SmackDown team.
But they're making appearances.
Yeah,
They're at least out there.
and that's what I'm saying. Like you can't say they're shitting on them until they've shat on them. It's like you're going, the fucking sky is raining all over me just because you see clouds down the way. Sometimes those clouds don't produce rain on you. You can't just assume you're going to get rained on or these people are going to get shit on.
What?
This must be our friend here.
I don't think so. Hi, Daniel.
There's our friend.
Hey.
I always know it's Daniel because he's the only one with the 702 area code. That's all I'm giving away for your number. But the area code, because everyone knows
Las Vegas, baby.
it's
Las
yeah,
Vegas.
Right, that's where it is. Daniel, we're talking about, I don't know if you were listening a little bit before you called in. Smitty was saying that he believes that there's a possibility that WWE is going to shit all over the Viking Experience, War Raiders, War Machine. Obviously, with the name, none of us agree that it's a good name. Do you think that it's a possibility that the War? I'm going to call them War Raiders because I'm not set that Viking Experience is their name until after next week on Raw. Okay,
Oh, they're gonna stick with that bullshit.
I'm not saying, dude, the amount of backlash. It's very possible that WWE does something different because when it's that much shit, They were getting, like, dude, they were getting it. They're still fucking getting it, and it's Wednesday.
Just in case, hashtag pillage people.
No, pillage people's not good. Do you think that they're gonna shit on War Raiders, or do you think that they're gonna give them a good ball to run with as on Raw?
I mean, I think despite the shitting on with the name change, I think, you know, they're two good workers, and I think they're going to give them an opportunity to prove that. And I think they'll be successful there. I don't think they'll take the route of the Ascension or I believe you brought Vaudevillains too. I think these guys are significantly more skilled in the ring. I think, you know, despite again the stupid name, they'll just prove themselves as solid workers. So I'm not too worried about them.
I was listening to a different show, and they said that coming out as the Viking experience, more casual fans with Raw's reach know the Viking experience than they do War Raiders or War Machine combined. And I was thinking about that, and I'm like, that's a really good point, because when you're hitting millions of fucking screens, right, and you're having that, and it's going all over WWE.com for Raw, it's a very good point that now more people know them as Viking experience than they do as War Raiders or War Machine. But the problem is,
It's for the wrong reasons.
no, I can't even say it's for the wrong reasons. Like, so Mick Foley put out a tweet that was really smart, and he goes, look, it's 2019. The word war isn't going to fly in WWE. It's not going to fly as a major part of you for Raw or SmackDown. And in reading that, I was like, he's right. They took off Raw's war in the middle of the actual war, right? So they really haven't seen anything like that come back for WWE, any type of war.
Since the turn of millennium, pretty much.
Right. That's why War Games is fine in NXT. You're not going to see it on a WWE pay-per-view. You know, you'd like to, but it won't be War Games. It's not going to be anything involved with war. And that being said, then, I put out a tweet and I said, this is on Triple H then. Sure, the quick naming of it was Vince. Like, we're not a single fucking person is going to go, yeah, Vince totally did not name them Viking Experience and Eric and Ivar, right? That's 100% on Vince. But if Triple H, when bringing them into NXT, gave them a more credible name that could be used in the long run, they wouldn't have had to worry about changing up an established tag team that they've already done in NXT as NXT Tag Team Champions to bring them to Raw or SmackDown whenever they had come up, to switch a name that everyone was like, why? You know, and that's the problem, is they did something like that. Daniel, how do you feel about, do you think like Triple H should have taken more of a step ahead role? Because obviously nobody goes to NXT going, can't wait to stay fucking here forever. Outside of Walter. Walter's the only person I've ever heard going to NXT or NXT UK that's like, no, I don't ever want to hit the main roster. I'd like to stay at the small things, but on a bigger platform. So what do you think, Daniel?
Yeah, I find it surprising that he didn't think through the original name change a little better, knowing that eventually they would hit main roster and that word wouldn't be allowed to be used, unless he really wasn't aware. I mean, it's possible he was blindsided by this as much as we were. But I also don't understand why they didn't just, I don't know, they could just call them the Raiders. I mean, they're affiliated with a shitty football team, but...
Nope. It wasn't. You got NFL, just like you said, the War Machine copyright thing.
Do you think then that because that's also a part of it? I didn't even, like, Smitty, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that. War Raiders. Like, Raiders is a fucking NFL trademark copyright. And so you can't really sit with that. Obviously, War Machine was never going to fly in WWE. Huge company. War Machine is a Marvel copyright.
Disney. Let's go to the bigger.
Right. So you can't go with anything like that. That being said, that's a really good point, Smitty. Calling them the Raiders or War Raiders is a name that is already used as a major copyright. Now, granted, there's other things that people on the interwebs had said, like something Norse, a whole bunch of Viking stuff and things like that, that did sound better. But again, these weren't people that were in creative process, you know? Nick, are you hoping that there's a name change, or are you going to be like, are you thinking, all right, we're going to have to try and get used to this fucking name?
I'm thinking we're going to have to try and get used to this fucking name. And I don't think it's going to be a problem, honestly. I'm upset about it. But, I saw some things online. Somebody had made mention of, I didn't like The Undertaker's name when he first, came out, he thought it was really fucking cheesy, and now look what happened. And I'm not saying that there's a direct comparison between, Viking Experience and Undertaker, but we'll move past it. I don't like that they changed their names, though.
I also
almost
disagree
more
with
than
him
the
on
name
that
of the
one,
tag team.
You said what?
I disagree with him on that because especially with this day with the internet and everything that these guys have done already prior to WWE.
You think it'll bury him?
I'm not saying it's going to bury him. I said it's going to make it a little bit more hard. It's going to make it a little harder to take these guys seriously.
Yeah.
Because they've established themselves once as War Machine. They've established themselves a second time as War Raiders. And now you give them this gimmicky bullshit name on the main roster.
Mm-hmm.
So you already have these guys who are going to be hardcore fans of them no matter what. You say you got the casual fans going to look at them for the first time. Let's go possibly bring that in. But those hardcore fans that know these guys, they know these guys' work ethic. It's like they feel like I do at this point. Like, why are you doing this to these guys a second time? And you did even worse than you did when you brought them up to NXT.
Do you think you're going to get over it, though? Like, do you see yourself getting past it?
I can see myself getting past because their work ethic. I can't see them I can't get past the name. I really can't.
Yeah.
What about you, Danny?
I mean,
go ahead.
on the bright side, with WWE dropping last names so quickly, in like 3 weeks they'll just be the Vikings, so we'll be fine.
No, they won't.
Yeah,
NFL trademark.
Right, that's another NFL trademark. God damn it.
Minnesota.
What about and then there's Kyrie Sane and fucking Asuka that are the Viking Experience.
Thank you, Z.
I reckon it.
No, that was me.
That was you? Oh,
That was
wow.
me. That was totally me.
That sounded more like a Z comment.
It totally did. It didn't get over anywhere near enough on Twitter. I was really sad about that because that should have been so much better. Okay, let's take a stop before we go any further with the Superstar shakeup. And Daniel, let's just talk about. He said we're gonna gloat. What are we gloating about? There's nothing really to gloat about.
Get your brooms out, bitch.
I'm not trying to gloat anything here. I mean, it was a hard fought battle. I honestly think that regardless of the outcome, I think the third one was the most fun for Pro Wrestling Scorecards versus Breaking Down the Ring because
You finally got your win?
no, not that. No. I'm literally not trying to shit talk anyone, Smitty. There was a lot more interaction on social media. We had the badass poster, which Daniel says he sent them. They're on the way for right now. He had actual ones printed out for us, which is fucking awesome. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
They'll be there Friday.
And it was just overall fun. You know, like it was good interaction. Had them on the show multiple times beforehand, and while there was
Twitter
shit talking, and while there was shit talking and everything, I honestly feel that it got both of our names out a little bit more. And I think that's like the ultimate goal of anything that you do with anyone else. So personally, regardless of the wins, right? I just want to say thank you for the third time because I think it was good. I think you said it yourself. WrestleMania is your guys' biggest show. It's obviously some of our biggest audiences. So I'm honestly just very happy that we did this and it was another successful one for each of the brands. So how did you see your download count for WrestleMania, G1, and NXT TakeOver?
It was actually a really good weekend. I don't have the numbers in front of me. I didn't even think about that.
Silly goose.
It was comparable to last year. We didn't see any significant increase. We did see a nice little spike in followers. Sorry, I'm trying to frantically pull up my results right now.
It's okay.
But
Nerd.
New Japan didn't do as well as we thought it would, or the G1 that is.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure why exactly. I mean, it was our first time doing it. So like
the elite's
the
not
audience
there.
base for us is really there.
Right. But at the same
But NXT was the highest download NXT we've ever had.
Really?
Damn right it was.
I like that. So like by how much higher than the last highest if you have the numbers in front of you?
I am pulling it over right now.
That's what she said.
So I mean, it was about the 25% lift to the last highest one.
Wow,
Nice.
that is a huge increase.
Yeah, NXT doesn't do much for us usually. I mean, it has a much smaller audience than obviously the main card pay-per-views.
Mm-hmm.
But this one being attached to Mania obviously shifts the the viewership a little bit.
Right.
So it was good. The G1, we only saw about 2,500 users, which isn't much at all. But again, first time into it, I anticipate that's going to pick up over time.
Did you see what was your social media feedback? Obviously, you guys are doing live scoring and everything while you're in Madison fucking Square Garden watching the show. What was your social feedback on that? Because I'll say, our YouTube video of those picks, of the 3, it was the most viewed one for us, which I kind of caught me off guard, which obviously means that we probably should talk a little bit more ROH New Japan now, because obviously the people that are watching the videos are on it. So what was your feedback or your social interaction with that?
You know what, the amount of dialogue I was having with users and whatnot was no different than any other pay-per-view, which surprised me, even though it was less users. However, it was during that event where we saw the largest pickup in followers. We typically see them as we're posting results. People see the results pop up and then see what we're doing, and start following. Right. And we saw the largest increase during that event. So I think we caught the attention of some New Japan fans, or Ring of Honor fans.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, so I think once we start doing more, we'll start picking up more and more. You know what I mean? It's just it's going to be about getting those ones out there.
And again, for anyone listening, you want to go to @PWScorecards on Twitter, Facebook, PWScorecards. Follow them because they're going to be. You guys are doing something for Double or Nothing, correct?
Yep.
And of course, Money in the Bank is the next major WWE pay-per-view that they'll be doing stuff for. So you can download all of those, man, and you can get your own scorecard. You can have fun because, again, regardless of anything that you're watching, the Pro Wrestling Scorecards make the viewing experience better. It adds stuff to it. It really does enhance everything about any type of show you're watching, because always the spirit of competition, it brings adrenaline up, man. You're like, oh, son of a bitch, I missed this, or son of a bitch, I missed that, or fuck you, I got this, So that being said,
it's fucking free. Why wouldn't you do it?
Right. And that's the other thing. You're right. It's fucking free.
Price.
No one's charging you for this, And Daniel, you guys are trying to make it even easier for people in the future, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we are. We are working currently on a digital version of the scorecards. We don't have too many details on that yet, but it'll be coming this year.
Nice.
Awesome.
What do you now? Obviously, season 4 is coming up. Your season 4, your season switch over just a couple months before ours. Actually, the month before ours, because yours is the pay-per-view after WrestleMania. That is the season. So season 4 is coming out for Money in the Bank then, correct?
Yep.
All right. So season 4 starts Money in the Bank. Our season changes over in June because that's when our celebration happens. So yeah, tell us a little bit about season 4, brother.
So we're going to be making quite a few changes, actually. Nothing significant, but we are redesigning the scorecard, kind of from the ground up. There will be a different scorecard design for each promotion.
Okay.
So we will have a WWE design, an NXT design, an All Elite Wrestling design, and if we continue to do New Japan and Ring of Honor, they will have their own layouts as well. Rules and all that will be the same, but just so we're not all staring at the same card, you know, 3 or 4 times a month. If you're doing, the New Japan, if you're doing all of them, we've got to be a little redundant looking at the same thing over and over again.
Right. Makes sense.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was I'm just agreeing with you.
Yeah. So we're switching that up. We're going to make a few small rules adjustments. Unscheduled appearances. We put a poll out on Twitter asking people if they would prefer that we drop the score from 5 to 3. Overwhelmingly, that was a yes. We are either going to change the score to 3 or change the pick count to 3 and leave the score at 5. Either way, so it totals out at 15 points. So it's not worth more than any matches.
Okay.
It's shifting the card too much.
All right.
We're also going to make some small changes to the unscheduled appearance rules. We're thinking about just dropping pre-show entirely. It creates too many questions around what counts and what doesn't. So we're thinking about pulling that just to main card only, the only place that unscheduled count. It'll be much easier to keep track of and cause much less confusion.
Good call. Good
Like
call.
it. Like it.
And then a few big things. On May 1st, we'll be launching ProWrestlingScorecards.com.
Boom, baby!
That will not be the digital scorecards yet, just be the new home for the scorecards so we can better control over where our files are stored, tracking downloads, whatnot. We'll also have very detailed rules on there and explanations on why, we made some choices that we did in the rules. So I'm finalizing that up right now. So that will launch on May 1st.
Nice.
Yep. We got our new shirts up on Pro Wrestling Scorecards now for Season 4. So we changed the Pro Wrestling Scorecards logo.
On
I'm
Pro
sure you guys
Wrestling-
have seen that already.
Me Pro Wrestling Tees.
And then I am currently, right now, filling out the application for our booth at StarCast.
Nice.
Motherfucker, I'm so proud of you, dude. So fucking Daniel and I have been talking about this, and he's like, should I? And I'm like, fuck yeah, you need to, dude. And obviously, look, any type of booth that you get at any con, like, Smitty, the Astronomicon people and everything like that, there's a Motor City Comic Con, StarCast and things like that are no different. There's a booth, there's a fee, there's going to be a cost. And he's like, should I do it? And I'm like, dude, I'm going to tell you this right now. That's going to be the best money you're spending for anything related to your brand.
Publicity.
Because there's going to be so much foot traffic that just comes by on that. That looks at it, that if you have an older scorecard, or obviously by that time, AEW's card is going to be announced, right? Because StarCast is the day before. So you're just going to be able to hand out a whole bunch of fucking scorecards, things like that. And I'm just so proud of you that you're actually fucking going at it, man, because it is something that I think, is a really smart idea. And I mean, it's not even set that I'm not going yet. Because I could be going out there. So if I go out there, I would totally sit with you in your fucking booth and put you guys over. I have a shirt. I'd wear it. I'd fucking wear it.
I've got a shirt.
I got a Pro Wrestling Scorecard shirt.
I do like that new logo. I'm thinking about getting that on a shirt.
It looks good, man.
Yeah. Thank you.
I like it a lot.
So the application, it has to be accepted as well, correct?
Yeah. So I think we're in a good spot.
So if you get accepted, my friend, what do you hope to have for the people, or do you have any ideas yet of what you'd like to have besides obviously a Double or Nothing scorecard out there?
Yeah, me and Mario have been discussing this a lot. We are going to have some PWS merch there. We don't know what exactly, but we're going to have some stuff there to give away. We're going to have the scorecard. We're going to hand it out. We are also going to ask people to come back on Sunday after Double or Nothing to score out the cards, and then top 3 scores, we're going to give some stuff away.
Nice.
Wait,
StarCast is the day after too?
Yeah, it's the day before, the day of, and the day after.
Okay, that's a lot.
Yeah, the day after was a confusing day for me because with our product, one, it doesn't really have a value. 2, it definitely has no value after the pay-per-view's over.
Yeah, I'm just kind of confused. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we're going to do, to bring the scorecard back. We'll score it out, and we're going to give away something on that day. So try and, keep the traffic going even, after we've lost our one thing that we can give away.
Right. But any idea on what you might want to do with the prizes? Is it like a T-shirt, or is it nothing's finalized yet?
Nothing's finalized yet. Mario's having some conversations with some places about donating some stuff.
Nice.
So once we have some information, we'll definitely put it out there.
That's what I like to hear, man. Fucking initiative. These motherfuckers have Pro Wrestling Scorecards. Gonna be fucking huge, and we knew them from the bottom. That's all I want to know. We were there. You got fucking.
And we were the top as WrestleMania weekend.
Now let's go into the scores that we had for WrestleMania weekend. It was a clean sweep. I'm not trying to gloat. Obviously, but we're gonna a little bit. Clean sweep.
I'm going to at least.
Top to bottom. The main event
They're the bottom,
was
they're the top.
myself and Jess for the BDR championship, and he lost because I won. And the next was the
Redemption.
intergender match between Dez and Nick. Nick won because Dez lost. Then there was the death match from between Joe and Daniel. Daniel's dead. He's really talking to us from the grave right now, everybody. And and Joe's alive. He's just he's resting because it took a lot out of him. Like, it's way easier for a ghost to appear than a dude that had to deal with a death match that lived. Like, it's still painful. And then, of course,
tag team champions of the world.
you're not even the tag team champions of breaking down the ring. Okay. Then there was a tag match. The first time
I'm
ever
actually one half of them still. Me and Joe.
putting them together. Z and Smitty were able to beat Mario and Ramon. So, man, I gotta say, after seeing the scores, because look, every other time that we've done this, you guys have just destroyed us on NXT, and then we somehow came back with the next WWE pay-per-view. But this time,
The only time they actually had a chance was on G1.
I'm pulling up the notes right now because I had all the scores and everything.
So I'm pretty sure their surviving grace was G1.
Oh shit, I don't have them all. But we I meant to ask you with the discrepancies that were going on. Did you find any higher scores for any of your guys?
No, not at all.
Such disappointment in that response.
We just did really bad.
Yeah, it was me with 300 versus Jess is 257. Nick had 275 versus Dez is 231. 280 for Joe versus Daniel's 243. Smitty, we kind of figured out to 287. And Z's 282 versus Ramon's 240 and Mario's 256. I'm not trying. Look, it wasn't a stomping, right? I mean, yeah, we won all three and everything like that, but there were some really good things about these scorecards, right? And there was I think for the G1, I had the most points at 70, but I think you guys had the next two with a 68 and a 60.
68 and 64 or something like that, wasn't it? Or 63?
Sounds right.
Because I didn't after my missing points was there. I didn't show you about too much. For G1.
Currently, we're having some technical difficulties on our podcast Detroit stream. It's literally showing no sound.
Uh-oh. SpaghettiOs.
So Daniel, after the weekend, what were your thoughts on on taking us on again for the third time?
Regret. No.
And where's Michael Jackson? You can't win, child. You can't break even. You can't get out of the game.
It's working.
I mean, it is what it is at this point. I was just happy I was there for the events. We lost, is what it is. But we are at a perfect losing record for every time we take on you guys or anybody else for that matter. So we apparently are not good at our own game.
I don't want to say that. I'm not going to say you guys aren't good at your own game.
I would just say we're better.
I think it's like you're Kofi Kingston and we're Roman Reigns. Sure, you guys are champions, but we're the main event. Smitty, I only said that just to piss Smitty off because goddamn his face dropped when that happened. Yeah, I don't know why we're not getting any fucking sound on that.
Sweet Jesus.
Everything's on. I don't get it. I'm really confused right now.
And what are we going to next here?
I don't know. Okay, so Daniel, let's talk about a little bit about this superstar shakeup. If you don't mind staying on the line.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fuck yeah, man. All right, so we obviously talked about Viking experience and WWE. We'll go ahead and give the full rundown of the superstar shakeup. So to Raw, you got AJ Styles, The Miz, Ricochet is officially Raw, Aleister Black is officially Raw, Eric and Ivar, the Viking Experience, are Raw. Andrade has moved to Raw with Zelina Vega. Rey Mysterio is Raw. The Usos, Jimmy and Jay, are also on Raw with Naomi, of course. EC3 and Lacey Evans have been given their spot finally to Raw Superstars. And then Eric Young has been separated from Sanity. Not to at the same time, Alexander Wolf said his goodbyes on Twitter to the WWE, thanking them for everything that they gave him. And Cedric Alexander is moving from 205 Live over to Monday Night Raw. And as far as SmackDown Live, you got Roman Reigns, the Intercontinental Champion Finn Balor, Elias, Bayley, Ember Moon, Kairi Sane, Lars Sullivan, even though he was on both. Again, you appear on SmackDown during the Superstar Shakeup, you are SmackDown. Buddy Murphy, the former Cruiserweight Champion, is moving to SmackDown Live. Liv Morgan is leaving the Riot Squad to go over to SmackDown Live.
Fuck with that one.
Chad Gable, Apollo Crews, Mickey James, and Heavy Machinery, Otis and Tucker are on SmackDown Live as well. So I guess I have to ask, man, Daniel, we'll start off with you. What is your biggest surprise from the Superstar Shakeup?
I think the breaking of teams is what I didn't see coming. Like, Sanity, I feel like they never even gave them a chance on main roster and then disassembled them, right? And Wolf was probably leaving anyways, and that might be why they did it. Who knows? But I feel like that was such a waste of them. Similarly, the Riot Squad, I feel like is a pretty solid trio. So breaking them up seems strange to me. And then, I found out they moved the Intercontinental, but not the U.S. But I do know that Joe was sick, so maybe we just didn't get the news because he wasn't there.
And they haven't announced anything on WWE.com. My thought process is possibly you see some sort of match at Money in the Bank, and the loser, or like I don't know, like
Loser leave SmackDown type deal.
Not leave, possibly loser leave SmackDown, and goes to Raw. That's possible.
Yeah, I can see that.
So now, Smitty, what was your biggest shock?
Biggest shock was the breaking up of the Riot Squad because it seemed like that was the one thing that the Raw women had that was solidly going outside of pushing those two SmackDown superstars on the Raw women's in the Raw women's division in general. Because outside of that, you really had nothing going for the Raw women's division until Becky and Charlotte showed up. Alexa Bliss wasn't being featured, and to break up the Riot Squad, which is the only solid thing there, was the biggest shock to me. I at least like, what the fuck was this one? It threw me in for a loop. And then the second thing was like how they're starting to stack the Raw tag teams at this point now. Because we talked about how like too many transitional champions, and there was not there like the titles on Raw were like literally just jumping back and forth through bullshit. And now you get the Usos, you get the hottest tag team from NXT at this point. And then, you get
Keep talking. I'm gonna call Dave and put myself on.
You get the hottest tag team on NXT, and then even if you look at Aleister Black and Ricochet, you're still broadcasting those guys as a tag team at this point.
Yep.
So it seems like you're trying to stack those tag teams, and Raw really. The only thing that the SmackDown got was Heavy Machinery from there.
Yeah, and I would definitely agree because, you look at the Raw tag team roster, and it's totally, I guess you could say, stacked.
It's stacked. Like, even with SmackDown, like, even when you had Sanity, you just broke up. You took the key part of Sanity away.
And they buried Sanity. Sanity made an appearance, and then 4 weeks later, they made another appearance. And then it just, they kind of fizzled out. I fucking forgot who the fuck Sanity was for a little while.
The last thing that Sanity did was they jobbed out to The Miz in a Falls Count Anywhere match a week before Mania.
And they made them seem like a very strong stable coming from NXT. And I was like, damn, now they're up at the main roster. They're going to cause some shit.
But that's one of the things that said, like, NXT tag teams don't get chances to thrive on the main roster.
What do you think, Daniel?
I don't know. I I don't know. I feel like the whole sanity thing is just. I guess we should have seen it coming when they had them basically job out to the Miz.
Yeah. What was a big shock for you on the Superstar shakeup end of it?
You said Liv Morgan and the
Liv,
tag teams.
yeah.
You say the area Liv Morgan thing.
I definitely agree.
Actually, what about you, Nick?
I agree. Liv Morgan for sure. And like I was thinking when I saw on Raw, they came out and I'm like, yeah, I bet any money that they break up and pull one of them to SmackDown. But you know what? No, I don't think they're gonna because they're the only real stable that the women have. They're doing just fine with those three. They make a great team, and then all of a sudden, now you see this Liv going over there. Now, I mean, what are you gonna do? You're gonna break up Ruby and Sarah Logan? Are you gonna put them on their own too, or?
Honestly, I figured I wanted to see a face turn for those girls and see them take the titles off the Iconics.
Yeah.
I think that would have made a great story in the long run.
Mm-hmm. You still might see it because the Iconics they'll float, right?
They'll probably float just like Becky will right now at the time being. But that's the thing. Like this thing with having these women's tag titles and pretty much an undisputed women's title. You're gonna see both those champions.
Hey boys, take a quick second. There's gonna be a small sound delay, real quick.
Okay. Do we need to keep talking? Or
You got a PP now.
Yeah. Yeah, but say flow.
I didn't catch that he said that. Daniel said that about Liv because I was busy trying to post shit to Facebook real quick, like, hey, we were having that issue.
We're going to see it. Like the women are going to be floater titles.
My bad.
Between both shows, and the women tag titles specifically going to be all three. They're going to go NXT.
Yeah.
They mentioned they're going to be on all three shows.
Yeah. Because they should. I like that idea.
Because nothing that kind of threw me into a loop. Bringing up Kairi Sane and doing I was happy to see Kairi Sane come up to SmackDown to team with Asuka, because I figured they were going to bring up Kairi Sane and Io Shirai at the same time. But honestly, I still think seeing Io Shirai come up a little bit later, maybe by SummerSlam, to make another three-woman stable.
Yeah.
With Paige as a mouthpiece.
I was a little disappointed that Io didn't come up. I was actually looking forward to both of them coming up together. And then when it ended up being Sane teamed with Asuka, then I was even a little more disappointed that it wasn't Io, because Io and Asuka used to be a tag team.
Yeah, that's what
back in the day.
In Stardom, yeah. So that's one thing is I see them giving Io Shirai a little bit more time to develop to the WWE style, and her coming up at SummerSlam as a third person to actually give SmackDown a solid trio of women, and give them a solid trio of women with Paige as a mouthpiece.
Yeah.
Because one of the best things, this is one of the best things they could have done for Asuka at this point, because they weren't doing shit with her right now at the time being, and that was pissing a lot of people off.
Yeah.
Asuka's way too good for what WWE's been doing for her.
Yeah.
And then the fear I have with Kairi Sane is them doing the same thing they did to Asuka to her, but giving both those ladies a mouthpiece in the form of Paige, it works. I see a bright future here, and I am the pessimist of the show.
Yeah.
That's the best thing they could have done for them, is give them Paige. Like, Paige needs something to do. They need somebody to talk for them. Like, this is going to work out great for all of them.
If they do it right, though.
I like your idea with Io Shirai coming up later on, and some of that shit that just makes sense. I wish they would do more of, like people that have these seasoned viewpoints, like some of you guys, and why wouldn't you do it? Because it's gonna fucking work. It's not gonna fail,
Hey, but some people like to overthink things.
Yeah.
AKA WWE creative.
Yeah.
And that's
Go
ahead.
Going back to the Riot Squad, do you think they're actually going to break up Logan and Riot as well? They make a point of bringing up Logan and her Viking lifestyle all the time. Do you think they're going to attach her to Viking experience?
Possibly, because you started seeing a little bit of a push at mainly during the Women's Royal Rumble. that Women's Battle Royal. She was the last person to survive. I think they're going to push Logan above Ruby at this point now.
Awesome. So again, I want to stop and apologize. Everyone that we had a technical issue. If you were trying to listen on the stream, you couldn't hear anything. Very apologetic to that. Fortunately, everything was coming through on the video, so anything that was missed, all of our podcast stuff is going to be up just fine. We'll just have to pull the audio from the video. So again, apologize. Daniel, sorry for all of our technical difficulties we had to deal with you on the phone, sir.
All good, man.
All right, so obviously I wasn't paying a fucking piece of attention to you guys, what you were talking. We're talking about Liv Morgan. Is that what I just heard?
Oh, technically, we're talking pretty much Liv Morgan, Io Shirai not getting called up. The best thing with Kyrie saying and Oscar being put with Paige.
And what's going to happen with Liv Sarah
Sarah
Logan
Logan.
and Ruby Riott?
Just pretty much the women and the superstar shakeup at this point.
Yep.
Outside of Ember and Bailey.
Let me ask you guys a question. Sarah Logan is married to Hanson.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, Rowe.
I think
It's Rowe.
is it
The
Rowe?
bald one.
Raymond Rowe.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
One
Warbeard
of 'em.
Hanson. All right. So, either way, she's married to one of the War Machine members, Ward Raiders,
Yes.
Viking Experience. Do we see her become part of
just
the...
talked
I
about
thought
that.
about
we
that.
we just said that it's a possibility they either push her or they just throw her in with Viking Experience.
It'd be an easy transition. She already fucking dressing like him.
She always has.
Yeah. I mean, just
Say either that or they're going to give her a singles push because at this point, if you're going to make anything from the women's battle royal, you either push Logan or you do something with Carmella.
You got to remember, didn't she second? Was
Yeah,
the second
she's-
the last one eliminated?
She was the
She
last
had the
one-
most
was-
eliminations.
She was the last one eliminated by Carmella.
Yeah, but had the most eliminations. She had a really strong showing in that women's battle royal.
That's what my point is. You either give her that singles push, and if you give her that singles push, I'm sorry to say, they're going to push her above Ruby at that point.
she's strong.
Yeah, she's a good character.
Mm-hmm.
Nick, did we get into the thing that shocked you the most about the Superstar shakeup?
We started to. This is when you were trying to,
Fix everything, yeah.
Yeah. So I had agreed with both Daniel and Smitty here that Liv Morgan was very shocking. I thought maybe they would do it, but then I was like, no, you know what? They're not going to break up the Riot Squad. The Riot Squad's on, you know what I mean? They're a very solid team, and sure as shit, they did it. They broke them up.
And they took out the weakest link.
Well, not broke them up, but yeah.
Yeah, they took out the person that keeps losing.
Yep.
That hopefully will get some sort of redemption come SmackDown, because we all talked shit about Carmella at first. Carmella was not the strongest wrestler on the women's roster, but she built herself up really high, enough to where
One of
it
the most
was
improved.
it was definitely a smart idea to put the title on her. That was a great call, and she had a good run. Obviously they believed in her a lot because it was the Money in the Bank that they gave her the year before. And she held that thing for a very fucking long time.
8 months, I believe it was.
Yeah, it wasn't until the day after SmackDown, or the SmackDown after WrestleMania.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. She lost it in that triple threat between Becky and Charlotte and her, and that's when she...
No, I'm
SummerSlam.
talking about when she cashed it in.
Oh, she cashed it in, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, she had that for quite a while.
So she had to SummerSlam.
Yeah. Let me tell you what my biggest surprise was. And it might shock you. Roman going to SmackDown. And the reason I say it's my biggest surprise is because WWE had lightning in a bottle when Roman came back, right? Obviously, there was a lot of other things going on, but the dude came back from cancer. And the last thing you want to do as a company is exactly what you did to get your golden boy changed. Like all the boos and everything like that. You brought Roman over to SmackDown, and I feel like you didn't learn the last time you tried to get Roman over when the underdog was running things. Last time the WWE tried to get Roman over, Daniel Bryan was who everyone wanted. Everyone was cheering Daniel Bryan. You shoved Roman into that spotlight. Now, Kofi Kingston is your WWE champion. He is the one that the people want, are exploding over. He comes out, he gets major pops, right? Kofi chants like crazy. You moved Roman Reigns over to the brand that Kofi is the champion of. And I understand that this is probably why you did it, because of 6 months down the line, in October, SmackDown is going to be on Fox, right? And possibly at that time, maybe the first episode on Fox, you see the title change. Roman may be taking the belt then, right? The problem is you have a guy that still kind of gets a few boos. It's nowhere near what it was before cancer, right before cancer, right? It was split in half. It's obviously nowhere near what it was after the WrestleMania after he beat Undertaker. But there are people right now that are going, holy fuck, here we go. He's going to take it from Kofi.
There's a lot of people to see foreshadowing.
And my thought process is, when you have him come out in the main event of SmackDown, knock out Vince McMahon, and yell, this is my yard now, that's a problem. He then puts it on Twitter that Kofi then quoted with the chin-rubbing emoji.
New York.
I don't know what the future plan is for him, but it's obviously to touch that WWE title.
Oh, yeah, let's put him back toward the top.
But the smartest fucking thing WWE can do is keep Roman in the middle of SmackDown for months.
Take their time with him.
Do not have him sniff the main event scene unless he's taken the direct loss. If there's we need a challenger, we're going to put these 4 people in. Roman is the first one out, right? Or if it's a fatal 4-way, Roman's the one pinned, right? Roman, I feel right now, is John Cena Teflon. You give him losses, doesn't affect the dude, right? It's not going to affect this guy. He is over for the kids. The kids fucking love him. There isn't a single thing you could do to hurt the Roman Reigns character. He is there. But cancer was an adversity for him, and he came back. Now he needs adversity. He can't just be running through people. You can't put him with Lars Sullivan because you know Lars Sullivan's going to lose to him. That's going to be a bad thing. We all said it was Drew should have went over it at Mania. Again, more adversity for Roman to have to fight because he's just getting back into things. And man, we really want him to do well, but he's not. Well, the dude fucking won his WrestleMania match. He is currently really looking really good, right? And
he's looking really strong.
This is the biggest surprise to me over the superstar shakeup, because if there's anything you don't want to do, it's you don't want those responses that you elicited the last time you were trying to run with Roman Reigns. You want to make Roman Reigns, you want people to fucking buy into Roman Reigns the way they bought into Kofi.
Or the way buying into AJ.
No, you want them to buy into Roman the way they buy into Kofi. You want that fan reaction. And currently, now granted, this might be just a set up. This is your base, your ground, your because obviously when you build a building, you have to set a good base, right? Strong foundation. So Roman coming in and the main event, this is my yard now, taking out the big dog. Very possible, just the strong foundation. Next week, he can't fuck with anything main event-wise. Sure, he may be able to open SmackDown. He might even have a match midway through SmackDown. But that next week's show needs to be about Kofi Kingston. And make Kofi the focal point of SmackDown while Roman's there and maybe a co-spotlight, but not near him. Daniel, when Roman came out, what was your first thoughts? Like, fuck, here we go?
No, actually, I really wasn't that concerned about it when he came out. I mean, I see your point on the Daniel Bryan thing, but I think it's clear that the initial run is going to be him and Elias. And I'm sure they'll keep that going for a while. I'm sure they'll be occupied until, I don't know,
but do you think
SummerSlam-ish, I would imagine.
Do you think they'll keep him toward the top of the SmackDown card?
Say again?
Do you think they're going to keep them both of those guys toward the top of the SmackDown card instead of toward the middle of it?
I think they'll keep him towards the top. I envision this. Like, Money in the Bank, we'll probably see Elias and Roman go at it, which means that they're not going to be in the Money in the Bank match, right? Mm-hmm. So, then the person that goes over there hopefully is, the possible opposition for Kofi. And then, I don't know. I see them going with a few other guys against Kofi first, letting him hold the title before they put Roman there. Because if they put Roman there too early, they're going to have to let Kofi go over on Roman, and it does neither of them any good, really. I mean, it does Kofi a lot of good, I guess, but it doesn't do Roman any favors, right? So I think they'll let him and Elias go after a little while, maybe towards the mid-card title.
You know what? Can I cut you off real quick? I apologize for cutting you off, but I disagree with that. I think it does a lot of good for Roman, because if WWE shows off that Roman is putting over Kofi Kingston, the fans might jump a little bit back more behind him, because it's not Roman being thrust in the spotlight and Roman winning. It's Roman showing off and letting somebody else look strong over him, because that hasn't happened yet with him since his return, other than the beatdown he took.
Do you actually think they're going to do the smart thing with him, though?
No. You're a little more optimistic about that.
I'll be honest, even I don't think that, and I try to look at the positive of everything. But this right now, I saw this and I'm just like, okay, I get it. You needed a big name, and it's smart for the overall long run because he is your top name. He really is. We can the smart marks and us people watching wrestling forever can be angry at this Roman Reigns push, but it doesn't stop the fact that the kids are out there buying his fucking merch, that the kids want to be the big dog, that he does have a real story that he came back from. It's a situation where WWE needs to tread very lightly with this. Nick, what do you want to see? Okay, if Elias is the go-ahead next one for Money in the Bank, who do you want to see him feud with after that to keep him away from the title? Because I don't think Roman needs to touch this title until October.
Randy?
Randy or even Finn. Why not Finn?
Because Gallows and Anderson on their way out, and like a heel turn does not make sense for Finn unless he pulls the club back together.
I love this. Like, everyone's saying Gallows and Anderson are on their way out, but Gallows and Anderson on social media have said don't believe everything you read.
Yeah. I think that, like you said, they need to tread very lightly, no matter what situation or scenario they put him in. If they push him too hard, too quick, and if they're banking on what's going to happen in October with SmackDown and Fox, and if they're banking on Roman being the face of SmackDown, whatever you want to call it, if they push him too hard right now, it's not going to work. It's not going to work.
Smitty, you're rolling the fuck out of your eyes right now.
Because I'm sorry, I already see. It's kind of. I feel like that's what they're going to do again.
So come October, if they push him now, and let's say he beats Kofi.
I don't think he'll beat Kofi though.
Well, let's say he goes after the title sometime before SummerSlam or even at SummerSlam, and they're pushing him into the main event. Fans aren't going to buy into it. They're going to start trailing off slowly. They'll still buy into it at first, but eventually, come October, it's going to be right where he was before he got cancer. No doubt. And it's going to be a really quick change, I think. As long as, now if they do the smart thing, like we're all hoping they do, and just keep him mid-card, feud, I don't give a fuck who he feuds with, as long as he's not pushing for that title. And if he is pushing for the title, like you said, take the loss in the main event. Put Kofi over. Whoever. I think that would be the smart thing to do if they are looking long-term, changing networks for the first time since fucking God knows when.
Since TNN.
Right.
Nope. My TV 20.
My
CW.
TV 20.
Oh, you're talking about Smack? I was talking.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. No,
But-
it was like they were on Sci-Fi and went over to USA after that.
I hope they know what they're fucking doing. I really do.
Daniel, after Elias, who would you want to see Roman go after?
I honestly don't know. I mean, I can see them doing something with Lars, maybe.
No, I say Randy or O'Brien.
If he goes up against Lars, do you want to see Lars go over? Or do you want to see Roman go over?
You know what, man? That's a tough one for me because I could give a shit less about Lars. Like, I'm not sold on him yet, so I'd rather see Roman go over at this point.
Yeah,
But I don't know.
I agree with that. Like, I've never once, not even in NXT, was I like, oh man, Lars. Every time I saw him come out in one of the live events we did, I'm like, dude, I can't wait to see you get your ass kicked.
Well, but if you want to build up Lars, what better way to let him go over on your Golden Boy?
Yeah, but if no one fucking... Dude, Lars was facing Aleister Black in the NXT main event of a takeover, and it was the least cared about main event NXT championship match I watched.
Ever, probably.
And it's like, that's not what you're gonna, like, I think the only one I cared less about was Bianca Belair versus Shayna Baszler. Because that first one, that was the same type of thing that I saw with Roman, is they just threw Bianca into it. Like, Bianca wasn't ready for that fucking fight. You know, I'm not saying she shouldn't have a title shot in the future, because I think Bianca's good, but I don't think Bianca's title worthy ready yet. You know, she has a great gimmick. I think she has the best, most original gimmick I have seen in wrestling in fucking years. The EST, how did no one think about that?
The ESC thing, I just think the attitude they put with her is just something I've seen my entire life.
But still, it's a gimmick. The gimmick with it's going with, it's just so fucking original. The baddest, the strongest, the EST. Like, the EST is a fucking suffix.
Yeah.
You know, and nobody fucking touched it. Bianca Belair did. And she had that before she came into WWE. They didn't give her that. She took that. That's her fucking baby. I'm with Daniel. I have always could given a shit less about Lars Sullivan. The minute he had an anxiety attack and then he comes back as a monster, I'm like, can you really?
Yeah.
This is what was. Oh, let's give him a diving headbutt. You know how many diving headbutts someone else with mental stability issues took? A lot. You know what he did then? Killed his wife
family.
and daughter, and wife and son, and then himself. Referring to the one, the only rabid Wolverine, Chris Benoit.
Benoit.
Crispin.
It's just it was silly. It was silly to me. Silly.
You know, that's an interesting point with Sullivan. Like, can they even do anything very important with him without the risk of it being torn apart by him not being able to work?
Yeah, I agree. If it's literally an anxiety issue that he had originally, if those reports were the things that came out as true, what the fuck can you do with this guy? Do you know he's? I mean, look, I am not saying there's you can't trust somebody with. Yeah, the fuck I am. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to knock a mental illness, but it's something with the stability of it, right? I understand that it's a mental illness and we have to take caution with it, which is fine. I'm not saying that he's a subpar human being for it, but if a dude doesn't show up on time to my job, I don't think I can trust. I don't give a shit if that person's got a mental illness or not. I can't count on them. And if I can't count on you, why am I doing anything with you?
Well, I've got some people very, very close to me that they deal with anxiety issues all the time, and they've sought after help for it and are doing all the necessary steps they need to address it and take care of it as much as they can. And it's so unpredictable that it's hard to say that a guy like Lars Sullivan, okay, he's okay right now, and he's coming out for Raw and SmackDown, doing this and doing that. Okay, now it's Survivor Series. Survivor Series, and Lars Sullivan has a very big match. And he's in the back, and he can't fucking move. And he's having a panic attack. What do you do? And you know, I'm not knocking him. I don't know what it's like to have an issue like that out of your control.
Mm-hmm.
There could be so many underlying things causing these problems for him that they may or may not be addressing, that it's a huge risk. It's such a huge risk. So if I'm Vince McMahon, Triple H, whoever, that guy's making me fucking nervous. He really is.
Speedy, what do you think about that?
This is man beef, and he gonna do what he has to do to get this guy over.
Beef.
That's my thought process.
So I didn't ask that. What I asked was, how do you feel about the anxiety issues and everything?
Anxiety issues?
Did you feel that they should put some trust into him for this?
My personal opinion is, like, I feel like you and Daniel do. Like, I really never really cared for the guy, but if Vince is gonna run with him, he's gonna do what he has to do to try to get this guy over. Fuck what everybody else wants.
Again, not the answer to a question I asked. Would you, as a boss, as a person, be able to trust this? And again, I'm not saying I'm not saying we need to demean this dude. It's a bad thing. He's a piece of shit for having this. That dude, it sucks.
I'm not demeaning
Anxiety,
the guy.
type of depression, all this stuff is it's real. You know what I'm saying? And we're definitely not saying that you're an asshole or an idiot or anything less of a human being because of this. But in my personal opinion, it does put a hamper on my thought process if I'm going to be able to trust you for, say, a SummerSlam match. If the first time you're going to Raw, you're having a problem stepping out, and maybe SmackDown the next day where there's 8,000 people, fucking 20,000 for a SummerSlam match? Sorry, SummerSlam is the second biggest one. 40,000? Do you think he's going to be able to handle that? And if so, or maybe yes, but do you have enough trust that you will put him in a spotlight match on this?
I won't put him in a spotlight. I'll put him in a smaller something, in a smaller capacity. If that's
Like a pre-show match, like before everyone
Yeah.
starts getting in,
Yeah.
I'll put him in a pre-show. I wouldn't put him anywhere on the main card.
and try to build him up slowly, as in this is what you're seeing, this is what you're showing. That could be a smart reason why they put him to SmackDown as well, man, because SmackDown really doesn't pull the attendance in that Raw does.
And those 9 out of 10, they probably have the better show.
Very possible. AJ Styles is on Raw. Daniel, do you think they're going to give him that Universal title anytime soon?
I mean, I think they're going to put him in the picture fairly quickly. I don't know if he'll hold it anytime soon, though. I don't know. I feel like that was an odd move. Like, I like AJ Styles a lot, but I feel like he fits really well on the SmackDown roster. Where I feel like on Raw, I don't know. I just don't like him there as much. I can't explain why exactly. I can't rationalize it. But it's like SmackDown is his world, and I feel odd with him being on the Raw roster. But I do also see him and like Rollins going at it in a pretty impressive, set of matches potentially.
Do you think he stays face?
That's a good question. I would like to see him heel turn.
He does decent heel, but I feel like he'll probably end up getting lost in a Raw shuffle.
You think AJ
Yeah.
Styles will get lost in the Raw
If he
shuffle?
turns or if he stays face.
If he stays face. Especially with them trying to build guys like Drew and Braun. Well, if they still trying to build Braun. I can see AJ easily getting lost as a face in that shuffle of Raw superstars.
AJ Styles. Go ahead.
I could just as easily, though, see him turning Raw, a show that historically, or at least recently, has not been doing very well, and people like him and Rollins turning the whole main event picture around to being more impressive like it has been on SmackDown over the past, 6 to 12 months.
Nick, how long do you think Rollins runs with this title? Are we talking at least SummerSlam?
At least SummerSlam.
Do you think he drops it at SummerSlam?
No.
Okay.
Well, if he didn't drop it at SummerSlam, I don't see him dropping it before the end of the year.
I do. I see him drop it right before Rumble to Drew McIntyre.
I think he could drop it.
And like the TLC pay-per-view?
Yeah.
So him hold it from Mania to April to December.
Maybe right before maybe right before Survivor Series.
I'd say either TLC or the Rumble.
Okay.
Well, Rumble's in January.
Now,
Right. So
I feel like that title's been sitting still for so long that we're going to see it bounce around a little bit this year.
that's a good point.
so when do you think that Rollins might drop it?
I think we'll see. I don't know. I mean, I could envision even a Styles winning Money in the Bank and cashing in on him fairly quickly.
Oh. AJ Styles is the money. So if AJ Styles is your Money in the Bank winner, he doesn't have to touch that title. He has the Money in the Bank. But I'll be very honest, I don't want to see AJ Styles win the Money in the Bank.
I want to see Drew McIntyre win it.
No, I want to see Andrade win it.
Really?
That's my
Yeah.
number. Actually, that's my number 2 for when I would like to see it.
El Idolo.
But I would also like to see the Money in the Bank be a cross-brand promotion where to give somebody an opportunity to jump ship if they want to.
I wouldn't mind that as well. And if that's the case, then I don't want Andrade to touch it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't, because you just brought him to Raw. Oh, yeah, I wouldn't want him to do that.
That's what I said. Like, that's one of the reasons I said my number one I would like to see one is Drew McIntyre.
So you're saying one men's Money in the Bank. The winner can take a title from whomever.
Yep.
Even NXT?
I would like to see NXT, but that's what the whole Worlds Collide thing is now for. Is give you a shot at any title on NXT 205, Raw, or SmackDown.
So one men's, one women's, and then just the regular pay-per-view?
Yep.
All right. I like that.
It
It
also cuts
would
the time
actually be
down.
cool for them to do a Money in the Bank match on a takeover prior to the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, for somebody to win that and then at any random time come up to main roster and cash in. That would actually be a really cool thing to see.
But that's what the whole Worlds Collide thing they've been doing for the last two major ones have been for. The Worlds Collide, like
Who won the last one?
Tyler Breeze.
Tyler Breeze is the world class. So he has a title shot at any.
He's going for. He said he wants to go for Velveteen Dream.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not see this yet.
Cause I got a notification. It was it came down like Tyler Breeze and Luke Harper or some shit like that.
I didn't know that that's what you got for winning Worlds Collide.
Worlds Collide, they get like the lower mid card people from Raw, SmackDown.
Yeah.
You get guys from 205 Live. It's just like a single elimination tournament. Because Velveteen Dream has been tweeting about this whole thing as well. That's what like. So the notification I got was that Tyler Breeze wants to challenge Velveteen Dream for the North American Championship, and there's also been a mention from Xavier Woods on SmackDown. Like, if we don't see Tyler Breeze on SmackDown, he's gonna be upset because it's all up, down, down thing.
Yeah.
So like, this was like. So the notification I got was that Tyler Breeze was facing Luke Harper for the final Worlds Collide, and then this morning I got one that Luke Harper requested his release.
Yeah, he did that. Says Tyler Breeze teases a change. 4 days ago, Tyler Breeze wants to shot at the North American title. He tweeted that out.
So he tweeted it out, and then Dreams was like, "I could do a lot of things, but I can't change Tyler Breeze's career."
So, all right, I'll tell you guys what I just saw. Fucking Tyler Breeze tweeted out, "I want the North American title" on April 11th. And Big E quoted it and goes, "Fighting VD is nothing new to you."
Yeah. That's what, like, Big E probably has one of the best Twitter handles. I mean, best Twitter accounts on Twitter right now. Between him and Becky Lynch are my two WWE Twitter handles. The results for World Collide are actually on WWE.
And so this most recent Worlds Collide, this is like within the last
This
week.
was this is right after WrestleMania weekend,
And that's the one that Tyler Breeze won.
supposedly.
Huh.
And he's supposed to be he's supposedly challenging Velveteen Dream for North American Championship,
Velveteen Dream.
which I think he had one of the better matches throughout the weekend. Him and Matt Riddle. Especially for the time it's more so for the time they got. By the way, Meltzer gave Gargano and Gargano Cole 5.5 stars, 5.5 stars.
Yep.
Are you fuck serious?
Yeah, he
I
sure did.
shit you not.
Yeah, I started that. That was the first Wrestling Observer I read, and I was like, wow.
He gave Gargano Cole 5.5.
Did you know that, Daniel?
No, I did not.
He said that NXT pay-per-view was probably the best pay-per-view ever.
Wow.
Ever.
The best.
No, he said WWE pay-per-view.
WWE pay-per-view, excuse me. Ever.
Really?
Yep.
He had a New Japan hard on for NXT TakeOver New York.
Yeah.
Wow.
He even gave the main event a 5.5.
Wow. We didn't even do. Oh shit, we haven't even given our ratings yet for this.
Yeah, we said we were going to talk about it for 2 weeks before we gave the ratings.
Yeah, that's right. Meltzer, star.
Now
rating.
I feel like I need to actually watch that pay-per-view.
You haven't seen it yet?
Man, I was at saying this out loud on a podcast. I was at Penis Party during that.
Yeah, Joey Ryan's penis party. Heard there was a lot of bottomless people there.
It was an amazing show.
All right. So what is so you just haven't watched it because you're just so busy?
Yeah. I probably need to pull that up tomorrow. I'm gonna do that.
My Uncle Shaggy Dave gave Gargano Cole a 5.5.
Dream Matt Riddle 4.5 stars. Walter and Pete Dunne 4.5 stars. Baszler Io Shirai. Oh, I'm sorry. War Raiders versus Black and Ricochet 4.5. Velveteen and Matt Riddle 4.5. Pete Dunne versus Walter 4.75. The Fatal 4-Way Women's match 3.75. And Adam Cole and Gargano 5.5.
Yeah. So I was reading that. I figured that was something we may have wanted to cover last week, but we just kind of ran out of time.
That is crazy because I don't even think Cole and Gargano was the best match on that card.
I think Dunn Walter was the best match on the card in my mind. And I did like Dream and Riddle for what it was and with the time they gave them.
I thought the tag match was the best.
Yeah, the tag match was really good.
My thing was, I think the tag match was really good, but NXT tag matches are always just that.
It doesn't change the fact that if it's really fucking good, it's the best match. If you think it's the best match on the card, Dan. Oh, he hasn't seen it. God damn it! I was about to ask you.
I was like, my standards for NXT tag matches are up there now. When it comes to NXT Takeover tag match,
Fuck you, Smitty. No, I'm just kidding.
My standards are up there now.
All right. Who? Daniel, I'm gonna start with you. Then I'm gonna go Nick. Then I'm gonna go Smitty. Give me a name of who you think the next Universal and the next WWE champion are going to be. I don't want to know time frame. I don't want to know when you think the person is going to drop this belt, so on and so forth. So, Daniel, we'll start off with the Universal Championship. You think it might bounce around. Who do you think is the next person to take that Universal title? Be it face or heel? Because, look, man, you can put on a good face versus face match if you so chose. WWE hasn't done that in a while, but it's possible that you could see it. AJ and Seth in the close future. Who do you think could be or is the most likely next Universal Champion?
Man, that's a tough question. I'm actually going to go with AJ.
Okay.
Because I think, I don't know, I just think the matchup between him and Rollins and multiple matches will be amazingly good television, and Raw needs that.
Do you think it's a one-on-one that he takes it away from Rollins, or is it in some aspect of a triple threat where he pins someone else, or a ladder match, something like that?
I guess that's a tough one. I mean, I think I feel like he takes it clean, but after a few attempts at it.
All right. Nick, who do you think is the next, most likely the next Universal Champion?
Oh man, Leo Rush.
Ooh, that's
bold.
Daniel just popped so hard for that.
Fuck off.
No.
Drew.
You think Drew's next to take it? All right.
Yep.
Smitty, you're over there going through the Raw roster.
No, I'm going to the SmackDown roster. That's one I wasn't sure about.
Who do you think is the next Universal Champion?
Drew McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre.
Sure.
All right. I believe that your next, Universal Champion is honestly Drew McIntyre. I agree. I think that is the safest bet. I think you should get Drew and Seth for a few pay-per-views, and Drew takes it, if not the first one, the second one. The problem is, I could see him dropping in at SummerSlam. All right, WWE Championship is your SmackDown top title. Daniel, who do you think is the next WWE World Heavyweight Champion?
I think Kevin Owens.
Oh, you think so? Kevin's the one to take it off of Kofi.
I think he's going to play the role of Big O for a little while.
Big O.
Turn on the New Day and then go after the title.
All right. Nick, where you at?
That's exactly where my head was at with that, because I do think it's a funny gimmick that he's with New Day and doing all that, but there's a bigger purpose there.
Get your drinks
There's
ready.
a much bigger purpose, and I completely agree with what Daniel's saying.
I got a sip left. Smitty, go
Get
for
your
it.
drink ready. I think the Kevin Owens storyline is just the one piece of fodder we're going to get for Kofi.
Drink, everybody. He said fodder. Okay, Lynn. Who
Mountain
do you
Dew.
think is the one to take it off of Kofi?
I do believe that I think they're going to find a slick way to get that title off of Joe, and Joe's going to be the one to take it off of Kofi.
I think you're wrong, seeing as all reports are saying Joe's going to Raw.
Yeah, but I'm looking at the SmackDown roster. Outside that heel turn, there's no but outside of Bryan, who he took the title off of, there's really no solid heels left on SmackDown anymore. You really took all your heels off of SmackDown, pretty much.
All right. Finn Balor.
You think Finn takes his heel turn?
I think Finn goes heel, and the best way to get Finn heel is to have him go at Kofi. I think you're right. WWE needs heels on SmackDown Live. The problem is Kevin Owens has flip-flopped a lot lately. And now, while I totally feel like it's very possible there's a swerve there, I think the true way to turn Finn is to have him go at somebody who is the most beloved. Otherwise, someone else is just going to be teetering heel, tweener. And I think if you put Finn against Kofi,
And he turns like, I'm not going to go through what I went through on Raw.
right, he just fucking attacks him. And look, man, it's obviously fantasy fucking booking. But finally, Gallows and Anderson has something to do on SmackDown with Finn, getting them in a title picture maybe, or just being out there as the Balor Club, right? It can be such a good thing for you to get Finn in that mode of pure heel. I understand.
Kind of like did with AJ when he first came through.
I honestly, man, I'll be very honest with you. I think Finn needs to drop that Intercontinental Championship quickly, and I'd love to see him drop it to someone like a Buddy Murphy, or even fucking
Ali.
Lars. I don't think it's a smart idea, but
Killian Dane's still on the roster.
maybe
do something with him.
Maybe by showing that confidence in Lars is a way to get him to feel more
Comfortable?
yeah. If the company is showing confidence in me, I have confidence in myself. They believe in me. They're pushing me.
But that either goes one of two ways. That's
I
either
agree.
Put more
I agree.
pressure on. There's also the backlash of either put more pressure
I am
on
not
it.
saying that I feel it is the way to help him. I'm saying it could be a way to help him.
But if you want to build a monster, you still got Killian Dane on SmackDown. And Killian Dane is actually a really good worker. He's a decent mic guy if they ever give him the chance to actually work on a mic. And the fact that he's also married to Nikki Cross, who's one person they want to keep around in that company.
Right. Or even Chad Gable. I could see Chad Gable going with that. And then Finn just getting completely pissed off and saying, I've sat around way
That's a
too
good
long
one.
waiting for people to give for me to earn these titles that
I'm
just
gonna
are never.
take it.
I'm just going to come and fucking take it. And then you have stable versus stable.
New Day versus Club.
Yep.
I would love to see that.
Well, yeah, we saw this with the Club versus the Samoan Dynasty.
Right. But again, this is the Samoan Dynasty was not built as a faction, a strong faction. You have the history of Balor Club, who has been already put over by, DX at Raw 25, and this is no longer, Vince doesn't really control much of SmackDown. He's definitely on Raw, and he can definitely.
He may have more of a hand on it because apparently Road Dogg asked for his release from the company as well. And he's been writing.
Yeah, I know we did, but it doesn't matter. Like Vince doesn't travel to SmackDown that much. He's done it more recently, but I could see him pulling away now that he put Roman there. He's thinking, all right, everything's good. Roman's here, right? That's his baby boy, right? And he's like, this is going to be the guy to watch over it, and he's going to run this locker room, which is fine. But and then you just have him so heel, all the boo because that's all heat, dude. Then you got Roman Reigns coming for that title.
Yep.
Then Roman Reigns is taking on a credible heel that always gets booed, that's always getting jeered, that won't get any pops. You're going to want Roman to win.
The whitest of white guys taking off the brother.
I'm just saying.
Outside of Sheamus.
So this to me seems like it's a good way. It's a down the road way to where you're right. Maybe Kevin does turn. Or maybe.
No, I see Kevin turning no matter what, but I don't think you see him win the title.
Yeah, like I said, either way, something needs to happen. Maybe, I don't know. I just know that I think Finn taking it off of him with Balor Club against New Day and then being so hated and just literally just... Dude, if you beat the fuck out of the New Day enough, you're going to get that heat. New Day is basically... The only way New Day could go heel is if they turn on each other.
Yeah, but also another person I thought may take that title off of Kofi would be just them going back to the old guard and Randy taking it off of him because of the history.
I think with WrestleManias, you saw the changing of the guard. I think WrestleMania showed a lot of the... Oh, no. We have a lot of trust in our future prospects, and that's what we need to do. We need to keep focusing on them.
But my thing is, like, the future prospects, like, I'm just still looking at that SmackDown roster right now. There's nothing built credible except this whole eventual KO turn right now. And like I said, the possible Finn turn down the line. Like I said, I either see Randy either being the F word or...
I don't have any more beer.
Yeah, that's what I say. F word. Not fucker. But
he just called Kevin Owens a faggot.
Just faggot with PH.
Wow, I can't believe you said that.
I see I say if Orton's not fodder as well, fuck it, I'll drink to it.
I don't have any beer.
If Orton's not, he's going to be the guy that takes it off him. Possibly.
I can see it.
Because of the history there between those two. And that story's already built itself.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue it. Oh, hey, there's some static. Stop it, static. Let's talk Money in the Bank now. The last fucking thing we're going to goddamn talk about before we fucking go. Because we're going to make this a quick show. It's just all about the Superstar Shake-Up. Money in the Bank. Smitty, I'm going to kick it off with you. I know we mentioned Andrade earlier. Is that who you think should win Money in the Bank? And if it is, who do you think will win Money in the Bank? It could be the same person. It could be two different people who you think should and who you think will.
See, my opinion on that is literally how they run it. If they do it as a opportunity to jump brands, Drew McIntyre. If you do two different ones, I say Andrade and Drew. Because we already know Andrade is a great talent.
I'm sorry. You're saying if they do two different ones, a Raw and a SmackDown one, Andrade and Drew.
I mean, Andrade,
I was about to say, they're both on the same brand, sir.
I meant to say, Ali and Drew.
Okay.
Because Ali is another person that's really talented. One person I think is really talented, and I think the Money in the Bank briefcase in general, it should be a way to build a heel in general. Just my personal opinion. It'll be a great way to turn Ali heel. Ali's he's one of those beloved characters that you wouldn't believe go heel.
Daniel, is Des still paying attention to our feed? It says she's on.
I have no idea. I'm not in the same room as her.
Oh, well, you guys are a loving couple. You should always know what she's doing.
Then yes, she is.
You're right. She is. She just commented. Des, I'm going to ask you the same question, but I want Daniel to answer it first. So, Des, I want to know who you think should win Money in the Bank and who you think will win Money in the Bank. Daniel, we're going to start with you.
Okay, so should, I think I think I'd really like to see an Ali win it. Not that I like to agree with Schmitty, but I think
No one does.
I think that's a good option. 'Cause I think he's one that we left out of that whole SmackDown conversation too. He could potentially hold either of those titles.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they put a lot of faith in him before the Kofi thing took off. So I think there's something down the road for him. So I could definitely see him winning that.
Okay.
Who should win it? I don't know.
Ooh.
I could see a Brian weaseling his way back into the title picture by winning that.
It'd be a 2-time Money in the Bank winner?
Yeah.
Ooh, look at that. All right.
I'm gonna pick
What did they think about the third 2-time Money in the Bank winner?
Des said Ali should win it. She thinks Buddy Murphy will.
Wow.
Buddy Murphy's a good
So
call.
is Buddy's on SmackDown, right?
Yeah.
He's gonna feud with he's gonna be in a mid-card grudge match with Ali. Him and this is carry on the 205 feud.
Possibly. Nick,
And they both
who do
Money in
you
the Bank.
want? So who do you think should win it, as in the person that you feel is most deserving? But who do you think will win it? And obviously, it can be the same person.
I think the person that will win it, I'm going to go with AJ.
Okay.
And the person I think should, I like that Andrade pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's proven himself in a lot of really, I don't want to say, it's not high-profile matches by any means, but he has really good in-ring chemistry with a lot of guys, and I think that he's earned
His spot.
Yeah, for sure. And even like when he was in NXT and he had that NXT championship.
Him and Gargano was
Man,
fucking spectacular.
Great match. I mean, that's saying a lot.
When was the first 5-star match that Meltzer gave WWE in a long time was Gargano and it was Gargano and Andrade
I believe so, yeah.
right before the old Ciampa and Gargano thing started.
Yeah, definitely. Man, who do I think should win it?
Leo Rush.
No, I was thinking Leo Rush, but
Bend over Bobby.
Only if that leads to a feud with Bobby Lashley to solidify him.
right.
And as much as I like Leo Rush as a manager, I hate him as an in-ring performer because I watched him on the Indies, and the guy is a no-sell like hell.
Yeah, he was the one that we made so much fuss over that table spot.
Yeah. It's not the first time he's done some shit like that.
So if I had to pick who I think should win it, I think that Samoa Joe should win it.
At that point,
I
never mind because The Miz won it when he was U.S. champion.
I think Samoa Joe is a smart idea for a long term down
Money in
the
the Bank
line.
winner.
Money in the Bank, be it Universal or WWE champion. And it's also very possible that if the winner stays on SmackDown, they do that match before. So Joe's like, I can go to any show and I can take on any title. And then
Him as U.S. idol, he could be like The Miz was when he won it the
Right.
first time.
yeah,
But it makes it more diverse with him. Like, I got Money in the Bank. I can go to either show, and I'm the U.S. champion. He used to lose the U.S. championship on Raw somewhere, and you still got to wonder where he's taking a Money in the Bank case.
who do I think will win it?
In the Drew train still.
No, I don't think I'm on the because I think Drew's going there no matter what. I don't think he needs that Money in the Bank briefcase to solidify him going. I think Drew's going no matter what. I think Joe will win it. I'm going to go with the same fucking pick.
Double Joe?
Man. I think Joe should, and I think he will. I think that is a really smart play. I think you get Andrade over in the mid card at first, and give him a lower belt. I don't think the Money in the Bank is what he needs right now, but I think Joe threatening people, coming for you. Oh, I think Joe is a Money in the Bank winner holder. Oh,
we
you
said that
fucking
last
kidding?
year too, but
But even more so now because last year he got injured around stuff, and
Yeah.
I think Money in the Bank is when he was fighting AJ.
yeah, he was like
Yeah.
AJ for WWE, and then they were also focused on Braun winning.
Oh yeah. No, I didn't pick Joe last year. I said Miz should have won.
But they were also focused on doing something with Braun when they still dropped the ball.
Right, but I'm saying you said that we wanted Joe to win last year, and I was like, no, I didn't want Joe to win last year.
No,
Last year I wanted Miz to win. I wanted Miz to win and then cash in.
I think we all said that Joe should be in the Money in the Bank, not against AJ.
Oh, yeah. But anyway, I think Joe is your smart idea. Joe is your beautifully smart idea to win Money in the Bank. I think it's genius. Daniel, man, we're gonna close this show up 15 minutes early, boys. We're gonna take ourselves a nice little break. We may have a show next week, everybody. It's up in the air as it currently stands. No, but it's a 51% no. Like it's really teetering on there still being a show. Obviously, we'll keep everybody updated, so on and so forth.
There's a Pro Wrestling Scorecard for that, I think.
Yeah, that's definitely an extra. Will BDR have a show? I still think I think I gave him a great idea. The Breaking Down the Ring Twitter gave PWScorecards a great idea when they were talking about 3 points for each thing. I was like, keep it at 5. But if someone gets all 5, they get an extra 5 points and maybe 20. And if you get all 5, man, I don't. If there even is 5.
So my thing is like I agree with you on that because like lots of our stuff that we've done with the Pro Wrestling Scorecards, those extras have been tiebreakers.
Oh yeah, for sure, and that's why they've said that they put that for a vote, and overwhelmingly people said 3 points. So like he said, it's either you can choose 3 people and get 15 points, or you can choose 5 people at 3 points and get 15 points. I think if you keep it at 5, I would love to see if someone gets 5. If someone goes 5 for 5 and only 5 for 5, you don't get the extra 5 points. If you go, if there's only 3 extras and you got those 3, you have to get all 5 of your names right. And maybe an extra 5 points there, because then it's like hitting the plus 2. You know what I'm saying?
Ultimate tiebreaker.
Yeah, could possibly be that. So I think that's a good idea. I'm still, I'll be honest, man. I've been talking to Daniel about this personally. I really think there should be a spot on these scorecards for where these matches lie. You know, obviously
Yeah,
you
I
might
was
know
thinking that too.
You might know the main event and stuff.
So pretty much like a little circle, like where you put this match.
Yeah,
on the
like
card.
like under or where everything is. In the beginning, it's like Roman Reigns, so and so for the whatever title or no title. But right there, instead, not just the winner, be like match place 1, 2, 3, 1 through whatever.
Yeah, like I said, I was thinking like the way the cards are set up, like have a little circle, like put whatever you think the match card is.
Yeah, and only get the
card,
3 points if you hit it directly on the head. No plus or minus 1. Just if you don't get this one right, you're fucking stupid, or you're out.
The only problem with that is that lately WWE on the last day before the pay-per-view, when they update their cards on .com,
They
the
switched it to
match order is almost identical to what it ends up being.
Really?
Unless they switch something to the pre-show.
He would know that more than I would because I don't look at it.
I start looking at it like during the Big Four. That's it.
Yeah. The only one that wasn't really – I mean, Mania was all over the board compared to, what it ended up being. But the last few have been pretty much on point where they just kind of lay it out for you. So –
Like, obviously, I know there's a kickoff show, and they'll tell you which one. And if there's only one kickoff match and you put that at number 1, that's your automatic 3 points, right? And obviously, most people can have an idea that the Universal Championship match, or if Roman Reigns is in a match, it's probably going to be the main event.
Or at least second from me.
But again, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's very, like, if you don't hit, like, and then what if they throw an extra match in there? That means whatever you picked for that spot, you're not getting, and then it can move everything off. And then at the same time, that means no points for anything after that extra match. It just, I don't know. I just feel like it's a good addition.
I'll think about it. You know what I am adding, though, and
What?
this came from you guys,
Oh,
is we are going to add the guessing no unscheduled appearances and getting points for that.
so that would be like the whole.
A whole unscheduled for none.
Yep.
Are we getting around the top? If she doesn't get knocked up, are we adding around the tight pulls?
Twat tugs.
Yeah, twat tugs.
There's a whole bunch of twat tugs going on in fucking wherever they're vacationing right now. That's for damn sure.
That's as long as you don't get knocked up in the meantime.
I can't even take credit for the twat tug joke while they're on vacation. There was an interaction between Dez and some of the other Pro Wrestling Scorecards people, and they said it, and she was like, "Oh God, no!"
But I'm still down for the twat tugs if you don't get knocked up.
Hey man, that's what happens.
I'm twat tugs if you don't get plugged. How about that?
Oh,
I gotta get one. I got one per show.
that's your 5. So Daniel, anything else you want to give our audience listening to you for your season 4, or just hey, it's coming May 1st?
I mean, I think we gave it all. So May 1st website comes out. That's first scorecard we post on the 15th. And then you'll likely catch us at StarCast. And I don't know, we're going to start doing some testing on the digital scorecard in the future. So we'll put out some info on that once we know where we're going with that.
I'm honestly super fucking proud of you, dude, for doing the going for StarCast. I honestly think that it's just genius. You are the only one doing it. Which is really crazy to think about. Like, it's fantasy wrestling. You know, it's not so much fantasy booking where you're trying to put things in together. It's, hey, here, like, to the point where WWE did it. I wonder if I won for DraftKings.
Or when they did that thing on the website where you go, where they kind of did like they tried to do like fantasy wrestling where you could buy, like you had a salary cap to pick your wrestlers for the week. Do you remember when they did that?
Yeah.
Yeah. They kind of tried to do like a fantasy wrestling thing. Like, oh, you pick this guy, but you pick this guy. One of the things is I would place like top 15 every week, but then I realized like I'm thinking with my heart, not my head. If I completely thought with my head, I'd be in the top 5 every time.
Well, that's fun. So, Daniel, thank you so much for calling in, brother. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Anytime, always. We can't wait to
kick your ass again.
No, we can't wait for season 4 to be out so we can just brag about how far along you guys have come. Because honestly, man, even from sneak peeks of things that you have showed us, there's nothing but big things set for you guys in the future.
Bright.
Yeah, like you gotta wear shades. 100%. Yeah, I went there. I fucking went there. So thanks for calling in, man. Really appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, man. Talk to you guys later.
Later. And that's gonna be it for us, man. Let's fucking get out of here early. I know we just kind of spent 5 minutes saying we're leaving, but we're fucking done. We are your ring crew.
I'm Nick.
Low Negro Smitho.
And me, the almighty one, Mikey himself. We are out.